Hello everyone, hope you're having a great weekend. I'm streaming live out of Basel, Switzerland. Can't ask for a better time. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Do let me know in the chat where you're looking at this stream from, where you're located. And yeah, let's wait for a few minutes until some people start joining before we start the live stream. Also, do let me know how the sound quality and the video quality is. I did upgrade my internet, so hopefully the stream is looking crisp. Do let me know, and also definitely smash that like button. It helps me, helps you get a lot more free content, and people find the stream as well. So I already see 8 people are watching this live. This is fantastic. Yeah, do let me know how the sound quality is. Do let me know where you're watching this stream from. And yeah, just say hi. I really like to know where you're from and how your day's been so far. Hi, Michael Cisneros from San Diego, California. Wonderful. Hope you've got pretty good weather there. I mean, California, you probably got always great weather. Rafael Sanchez, North Carolina, USA. Thanks for the tip. Hi, HVAC Pro. Nice to have you again on the show. Appreciate your constant yeah, really happy that you're always participating. Hi Guru, hi from India. All right, in today's video, we'll be talking a lot about psychology, the ETH USD, BTC USD charts. We'll also be looking at what the current situation is for ETH and BTC and why I believe it's a pretty good time to think about investing if you haven't, or thinking about the long-term aspect of crypto as a part of an investment. We'll also be looking at what large institutions are doing. I mean, a lot of things we've already looked at a few times on the channel, but I'm going to be looking at it from a different perspective. And also I've got a really interesting price prediction for you guys at the end of this stream. And I think it's a really interesting price prediction. It's based on the stock to flow model. And yeah, it's a bit wild, and hopefully it comes into play, but we're going to find out about that at the end of the year, basically. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, this year is going to be fantastic for your crypto portfolios. We're definitely going to have a bit of volatility along the way, but yeah, that's something to be expected in the cryptocurrency space. If you're not already, definitely subscribe and follow me on Twitter under your DeFi guide. I'd like to point out I did make one fantastic call, in my opinion. I called one altcoin that's been performing pretty well. It's called Whiteheart. I talked about it yesterday in yesterday's live stream, and it pumped quite a bit. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, definitely either follow me on Twitter or look at the live stream that I talked about yesterday, because I still believe Whiteheart is pretty undervalued. Bitcoin dominance is going low. You think there will be alt season? Well, in my opinion, alt season already has begun, with a lot of DeFi coins pumping like double digits, triple digits in the last week, and I think it's gonna still continue like that for the next 1 or 2 weeks. Now the thing is, I think most people are missing out on is the DeFi altcoins, because those will have the best gains, in my opinion. The DeFi space is one of the only places or spaces in the cryptocurrency space that is actually giving users a lot of benefit. They're allowing users to do a lot more with their funds, be that locking up different cryptocurrencies, earning like incredible yields, or even just locking up their stable coins and earning 7 or 8% APY per year, and that's incredible. I mean, of course, you've got the high gas fees, but it's still one of the best trends at the moment, the DeFi space, and not many institutional investors have really discovered what it's about. And the thing is, with a lot of these tokens, they are gaining in value because the DeFi apps are generating massive amount of fees, and most of these tokens, well, they allow you to either earn fees or participate in governance. So that's why I believe if you're trying to make some altcoin bets, definitely don't forget the DeFi space, because that's, in my opinion, one of the biggest growing movements of 2021. And you not only got the DeFi space running on Ethereum, you're going to have the DeFi space running on Polkadot. So definitely don't forget about the Polkadot ecosystem, as well as hopefully soon the Cardano ecosystem. Thanks for the support, Perozzi. Yeah, definitely smash the like button. Really appreciate all the support I'm getting from my community. I'll be live streaming a lot more in the next few weeks, as this is a pretty easy way for me to create content and hopefully also bring a lot of value to the community, as I want you guys to have the best possible information to make the best possible investments. I'm not giving you investment advice, but I'm helping you think about the different options that you have and how to maybe use this information for your best interest. All right, so quick agenda. What I'll be talking about, we'll mostly be talking about the ETH USD, the BTC USD price, looking a little bit at what it's going to be doing. I'm going to maybe share with you a bit of a short-term narrative on what the ETH USD and BTC USD price could be doing, some fundamentals, what institutions are doing, as well as some interesting pieces of news I've found. We'll be looking at portfolio of a massive whale that's become pretty famous on Twitter, and then we'll close up this relatively short live stream with a price prediction for ETH and BTC, and it's a pretty wide price prediction. All right, let's get started. So let's first answer some questions. Long on BTC and especially ETH. Definitely am a bit more bullish on ETH at the moment, as I believe BTC is going to be trading sideways for probably the next month. I mean, that's my estimation. And I believe ETH, as we will see in a bit, is probably going to be retesting the next all-time high in either the end of next week or in the next 2 weeks. That's my more or less estimation for how ETH and BTC, but more about that in a bit. So I'm sure, I don't really like to talk politics too much, but this is a pretty important event, and I think it's a very important event for cryptocurrency, and that is Joe Biden has been sworn in as the US president. I don't want to go all politics on you. Unfortunately, it's the political space is going to be super boring without all the Trump shit going on and someone to laugh about. Yeah, here in Switzerland, it's probably going to be a lot less news to laugh about. So hopefully the economy and the politics is going to go uphill from now on with Joe Biden sworn in. And it's going to be probably also a lot better for the cryptocurrency space, since Biden is more crypto friendly than his predecessor, with key members of the administration having a background in tech. So this is hopefully going to be good at the moment in the US. It's a bit of a wild west in terms of regulations. Nothing's very clear, and this is terrible for most of the retail investors, because I mean, if you don't really have clear regulations, it's terrible in terms of taxation. It's terrible since you don't really know what's going to happen if you stake ETH. Are the staked ETH, is it calculated as what kind of tax is calculated as, and a lot of other things like the XRP stuff. is it a security or not? So I think at the moment in the US, there's like a lot of, problems because of these regulations. It's hindering the innovation of the cryptocurrency space. So hopefully this will be able to come to a close now with this new president. Parody, I'm not tech savvy. Should I buy a Avado i7 to run my 32 ETH node? And 2 more questions. Do I have to change my i7 eventually? For how long will it be good for? Many years. And is my ETH safe using an Avado i7? I can't afford to lose my big bag. I think I'll talk about the article, continue talking about that in a bit. Let's quickly answer that question, as I think this is super important, and I also give you my opinion on what I'm doing with my ETH. So first of all, I'm not staking my ETH, as I want to have the liquidity. I don't want to lock it up for 2 years. The second thing is staking and running your own validator is relatively difficult for someone that is not too familiar with Linux. It might be a bit easier with Avado. I haven't tried Avado. I'm not familiar with it, but I've seen a lot of horror stories on Reddit on ETHStaker with people either losing their private key and being slashed because they have 2 private keys or 2 validators running on the same public key, and that is a slashable event. So that's one risk. And I think it's important to think about the risk and the return. So the return at the moment is around 5%, which is not fantastic if you take into consideration the amount of effort it takes to run a validator, especially if you've got problems and the validator is not running smoothly. It would take a lot of time to troubleshoot it. In my opinion, if you've got like 100, 200, 300 ETH and these 32 ETH, it doesn't really matter to you too much. I mean, of course, it would be painful if you lose 34,000 US dollars. Then I'd say, all right, try and become a staker. However, if this is your main bag, your main investment, I would recommend not staking, as the risk to reward is just not worth it at the moment. If you want, I'd recommend that you go with a staking pool and just staking a part of that. It's better to stay liquid, and that's what I will be doing with my ETH stack. So hopefully that answers your question. Michael Cisneros, what are your thoughts on the future of XRP? I sold my XRP, I believe 61 cents, right before the news about the SEC. I got lucky with that. Now, for me, the fundamentals are wobbly, really wobbly. It's not clear what the future is going to be for Ripple and for the XRP currency. I think what they're trying to do is pretty interesting, and if they manage to pull it off, it's definitely got a lot of potential. But for me, the fundamentals are just too wobbly at the moment for me to invest into Ripple. And I think what is also very important is that you have to look at the XRP ETH and the XRP BTC price, and that's just been performing terribly. And for that reason, I'm staying away from XRP. I'm looking at other altcoins to invest in. It's possible that I'm losing out on massive gains, but me personally, I'm not looking for 100x, 1000x returns. I'm looking for the safest return, the highest and safest return possible per year. And yeah, I'm already happy with like 100 to 200% return every single year without going into too much risk. And the thing is, with XRP and Ripple at the moment, there are too many points for me that are maybe it could work out or maybe it couldn't work out. So there's too many elements, that just doesn't make sense for me to have XRP as an investment. All right, let's get back. Bitcoin and ETH is flying off the exchanges. So the amount of Bitcoin that is bought is a lot more than the Bitcoin that is mined, which is fantastic because that means the supply is being diminished, the demand is increasing. And if you've got this juxtaposition of like less supply and higher demand, this will create a price shock, as it's referred to in economical jargon, and translated, and what that means easily is the price will go up. Because if you've got less of something and a lot of people want it, well, then that just means the price will go up. And the thing is with Bitcoin, well, it's used as a hedge against inflation. The inflation that is happening at the moment is crazy. If I'm not mistaken, in 2020, the Federal Reserve in the US printed around 20% of all of the money that it ever printed. And the thing is with this unlimited quantitative easing, it will be reflected in the price of goods. And you might not already be aware of this, but if you look at your salary, if you're already working, and you look at the last 10 years if you've been working, and you should actually have been earning every year a lot more than inflation. And if you've not been earning more, or the accrued amount of inflation, additional percentage to your salary every year to compensate against inflation, well, that means that you've actually been losing out in on your salary. Now, the thing is, now with this increased amount of money in the circulating supply, however, with not a lot of companies open, this money is just sitting there. And I believe in the next 2, 3 years, 5 years, when the money starts going back into the circulating supply, a lot of the prices will skyrocket. The cost of living is going to go up, but the wages are going to remain the same. And basically what that means is not only retail investors, but especially institutions that have a lot of cash, they want to actually put their cash somewhere that is liquid, that is a store of value. And they're starting to warm up to the idea of putting this cash into Bitcoin. I mean, it's still like only a few of the institutional investors that are doing it, but it's enough to cause this price shock. And the thing is with ETH, which is even better, is that by buying ETH, institutions can actually start also earning some passive income. And that's fantastic, because when they buy ETH, they can lock it up on the Ethereum 2.0 blockchain and earn 5%. And that is something that institutions definitely want, not only hedging against inflation, but also earning a fantastic return on investment. And 5% for institutional investors is just, it's really good. It's a really good return on investment. I mean, 10-year bonds, 20-year bonds, they're just laughable if you compare them to cryptocurrency yields. So the Ethereum 2.0 staking attracts over 2% of circulating supply. 2% of ETH supply is now staked in ETH 2.0 deposit contract, and the total value staked is 2.29 million ETH. So this is incredible. That's basically what I'm saying. With the amount of ETH that is locked up in staking, means that this ETH is not available to sell to new people wanting to buy. And I think this amount is going to go up drastically. This is probably going to be 15% or 20% at the end of 2021. So you have to imagine, if now there's already 2% locked up, I believe, 2% per month from now on, we're probably going to be at 15 or 20% locked up at the end of the year. And then you can imagine what that's going to do to the price of ETH, because people that lock it up, they cannot withdraw their ETH for the next 1 year or until the phase 1.5 is released. So all in all, super bullish. Before I continue with the ETH USD and ETH BTC price, I quickly want to touch on the psychology of the market cycle. And I think this is really important for long-term investing, as well as if you want to invest in small cap coins. I think it doesn't really matter what kind of investments, you can always come back to this Wall Street cheat sheet. And I know like most of my subscribers, or nearly all of my subscribers, are really smart, and especially those that started following my videos at the beginning of 2020 or even in 2019. And yeah, they were actually starting to buy ETH during this anger and depression phase. Not only ETH, but also other cryptocurrencies. And the 2017 bull run was basically this massive rise, euphoria, with the dumb money entering the top and the smart money entering at the bottom. So now the thing is, it's really difficult after you've already entered at the bottom to continue buying. And I don't recommend like buying massive amounts when the price is rallying, because the risk is a lot higher and also makes it a lot harder for you to exit your position. If you started accumulating at $100 or $200, it's going to be very difficult for you to start selling at $1,400 if you continue accumulating at $1,000. At some point you have to think, okay, this is enough. I'm going to save cash for when there's massive dumps, and then you only continue buying on the dumps. And now with this price increase that we had with Bitcoin and ETH, I believe we're back into the disbelief phase. This massive increase in price or value of the complete cryptocurrency market is still ahead of us. So if you are familiar with the 2017 bull run, it actually started mid-2015. So the euphoria stage was only around 1 month or 1.5 months, basically the end of 2017, time when most new cryptocurrency investors got familiar with Bitcoin because they saw the massive candles and they didn't want to miss out. And yeah, that's basically the worst time to invest. So when this euphoria stage is happening, that's possibly the best time to start exiting your position. I'm not going to go into how you should use your exit strategy. I've made a video about that. You can search it on my channel. It's how to profit, or my exit strategy, something like that. And that's definitely a great way to definitely get some profit out of this bull run. You're going to definitely have some dips, but by selling on the way up, you're definitely going to make some profit and not rely on your emotions for selling. Nick P, no props. I have mine there and USDC, which is 8.7%. Yeah, that's awesome. I've got some funds on Aave. When I exit my position, I want to remain in the DeFi space. I'm a really big believer of the DeFi space and think it's going to bring a lot of value to the community. And yeah, I've been locking up some funds, some USDC, some DAI, and so on Aave and Yearn Finance in order to earn some pretty healthy APY. Now, the only thing is, and I still have to think about that, is how the US dollar Swiss franc ratio is going to perform in the next year. And I'm going to have to think if it's actually worth to keep my USD on Aave, or if I have to find an alternative. I was looking at the Euro stablecoin, as that might be perform a lot better than the USD currency. Unfortunately, USD has been losing a lot of value compared to the Swiss franc and to the euro. So I'm going to have to think about one way. What I'd really love is having Swiss franc stablecoin available on Uniswap. That would just be phenomenal. I would be really happy with that. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen. There's one Swiss franc stablecoin, but it's from Bitcoin Suisse, and they don't really want you to trade that on decentralized exchanges. Hi, David Vagabond. Happy to have you back here. No worries. We just got started. There's still a lot of good info for you to enjoy. So this is actually a pretty good chart. I made a similar one, but I thought I'd take the one from Alan Masters. And I think this is pretty good as it shows a bit of the current situation for ETH USD and what the next moves is probably going to be. So ETH USD is now moving in this channel with the last low was, I believe, at $1,000 US. Let me make this a bit smaller. Please excuse the lag. My computer is not the fastest. So basically, ETH should be trading along this channel. The last high was $1,440. And the last low at the bottom of the channel was around $1,040. And it's pretty good. So we've got this higher high, which happened on the 22nd of January, which a lot of people were super scared about because they believed, all right, this is the end of the ETH bull run. But it's pretty great what happened, and this wick here, it bounced off of this support line. So this channel, which started with the first dip on 11th of January, and what I see is that this trend is going to probably be continuing up to this range, which would be 1,800. So I believe on the second or even the third retest, we're going to break past the $1,440 resistance, which was the previous all-time high. And yeah, hopefully that can act as a support. And should ETH do the same price increase as BTC did, I believe BTC did around 60% or 100% price increase after it passed the all-time high, we should be seeing around $3,000 US ETH in the next 1.5 to 2 months. So that would be pretty awesome. Strauss de Lange, what stablecoin do you like the most? I've used DAI and USDC. I believe USDC is my favorite one at the moment. I'm not such a big fan of Tether. I mean, I don't really follow the Tether FUD too much, but to be on the safe side, I mostly use USDC. However, yeah, like I mentioned before, it's a bit of a conundrum because I live in Switzerland, and Switzerland has a pretty strong fiat currency, the Swiss franc, and USD is losing quite a lot of value compared to the Swiss franc. I remember back in 2007, I went to the US. I went to Boston on an exchange week, and there had some US dollars, and I believe there at the time, $1 US was around $2, and $1 US was around 2 francs and 80 cents. So pretty strong. And unfortunately, since then, the value of the US dollar has dropped significantly. Cardano, yes. You've got a very similar name to the coin. Wonder if that's a coincidence. So yeah, Cardano, big fan of Cardano. It's been performing phenomenally. I will probably be doing a video soon about the Cardano blockchain, maybe an introductory video about what the current milestones are. I've been following the development a lot, and I'm very, very pumped for the next 2 to 3 months. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for Cardano to have dApps on their blockchain, but it's hopefully soon. So Goguen should actually start in February. That introduces smart contracts to the Cardano blockchain, and they've got a lot of fantastic things that they're going to implement, like the ERC20 converter and stuff like that. So in my opinion, Cardano is pretty undervalued, in my opinion. It's got a lot of potential. It's definitely a lot higher risk than some of the bigger coins, but it's, in my opinion, going to get a pretty big slice of the DeFi pie in the next year. And another good tip is that it's not on Coinbase yet. So should it be implemented into Coinbase, then it will probably benefit from the Coinbase pump. But yeah, let's see when that happens. My estimation is that as soon as the smart contracts are live on the Cardano blockchain, Coinbase is going to actually offer Cardano ADA coin on their platform. So possibly in March. I would really hope for that. That would be fantastic. So at the moment, my holdings are actually BTC, ETH, Cardano, and White Heart and Polkadot. Those are my only holdings at the moment. Yeah, sometimes I move into some really low cap coins, but I don't stay in those a lot of the time. Like I said before, I'm not trying to do 100x of my portfolio. I prefer a stable return on investment every month, slowly but steadily growing my portfolio. Now for the ETH USD, I'm going to quickly look a little bit at the chart. And this is looking really, really bullish. I'm not going to cover the Ichimoku cloud, but as long as we're above the cloud and above the blue line, which is support line at 1157, everything's dandy, everything's fantastic. And what I really like about this, so we're looking at the daily time frame. What I really like about this is that we had a pretty good recovery from the dump, where the price dropped to $1,037, and we had a fantastic recovery yesterday. So it dropped down to 1,037 and we went all the way back up to 1,226 and we closed at 1,026. So this is great. So we closed there, and yeah, now we opened at the close from yesterday, and it looks like we're going to be continuing. So we've already got 2 candles. And I really want to have this candle here. It's probably not going to be a massive price increase, but I'd really like to have this candle close above the previous close. So that means we have a green candle, and then we're going to continually move towards the all-time high and hopefully break past that resistance. So this is all looking good. My estimation is probably at the end of this week, we're going to be retesting the all-time high, and then we're going to attempt a breakthrough and then go back to new highs. That would be great. I'm sure everyone would be happy with that. So yeah, let's talk about cryptocurrency market coming back to reality. ETH keen on garnering more market share. So I think this is the big news that will happen either this year or beginning of next year, and that is ETH flipping BTC. And there's a lot of indicators showing that this is something that is likely to happen. The time frame is going to be very difficult to estimate if it's going to happen this year. I think the biggest thing that is holding ETH back at the moment is the ETH fees that prevent the DeFi users from participating in the DeFi space. So yeah, that's that. Please don't give too much thought or attention to any FUD news articles that you might come across. I mean, like Bitcoin double spending or Yellen and Tether FUD, because those articles very often come in times where the market is a bit unstable, and it will tear and pull at your emotions. And during those days, it's better to maybe ignore news and crypto in general. So yeah. I mean, yesterday we had, yesterday and before yesterday, we had a lot of FUD articles. So yeah, don't give them too much advice. As long as you follow your exit strategy and your accumulation strategy, you're going to be great and dandy. So I think what we could actually look at is I also follow Nugget News, Alex Saunders. I think he's got fantastic content. And I really like following and looking at what his estimations are and why he believes that ETH is also going to flip BTC. He shares a lot of ideas that I do, so I think that's pretty good. So here are the few most important reasons why ETH is going to be flipping BTC, as well as reaching a target of 10K. I do believe 10K is a bit of an undervaluation, but it really depends on what kind of time frame you're looking at. So the ETH is processing more transactions than Bitcoin. ETH is processing more transactions than PayPal, which is crazy. I mean, you have to see it like this. ETH has a lot of use cases. Bitcoin is fantastic. It's also got a lot of use cases, but Bitcoin is basically the gold, and ETH is the banks, it's everything, it's the marketplace, it's the place that transacts the gold. The gold is only in the bank, ETH is the banks. So with all the different use cases, a lot of value brought to the ETH ecosystem, Bitcoin serves a single purpose, and that is as a store of value, and it's definitely a very important block in the whole DeFi space, but it's just one block, and ETH is helping all of the other blocks work together. So there's a fantastic analogy with the DeFi space, and that it's comparable with Lego, and I'm sure most people are familiar with Lego, or maybe Duplo if that's your thing, but I played with a lot of Lego, and you can imagine the DeFi space as being Lego, with every different dApp being a DeFi, like a Lego piece. And the great thing is, with these protocols, these smart contracts, which are Lego pieces, you can actually put them together to create completely new decentralized financial services. I mean, flash loans is an example for that, something that does not exist in the traditional financial world. So yeah, it's very, very interoperable, and that causes a lot more value to be generated on this ecosystem. So yeah, ETH2 locking ETH, which reduces the supply. You've got the staking yield 5 to 15%, 4% issuance to 1% on ETH2, the decentralized finance space, which is super bullish, the NFTs. I'm a bit doubtful about NFTs, how much value they're actually going to bring to the space. I mean, there are definitely a lot of people that are super bullish on NFTs. I'm not 100% on board with how the value is actually attributed to the NFT tokens. In my opinion, anyone can create a token and just say it's worth 100 ETH, but apparently some people really like the NFT token. So apparently it's a thing. I'm just not totally on board with the NFTs. The only NFTs I think that are fantastic are those that relate to digital worlds, like in-game markets that allow users to maybe buy a skin for a game, or some kind of real estate in a game. I think those are pretty cool, but just like artworks, yeah, I'm not too much on board on that. Like I said, game is going to be massive. If you haven't already tried it, you should try Dark Forest game, which is running, I believe, on Matic Layer 2 solution. It's a pretty fun game. And you've got the decentralized autonomous organizations. This is going to be massive. Decentralized autonomous organizations, that's how the whole crypto space is going to be regulated. At the moment, you've got like a few dApps here and there that have got their little DAOs, which is pretty good. But with the fees, it's just stopping people from voting, because you can't really throw a vote if you have to pay $10 in gas fees or $20 in gas fees. So yeah, the ETH BTC ratio, it's pretty good. It's looking really bullish. So hopefully 0.05 at the end of February. Kierin, do you know about the DeFi Pulse Index? They have a nice coin, and they do something called token sets. So you think the coin represents a set of DeFi projects together, like SNX, Aave, Maker. Yeah, Nick, I know about DeFi Pulse Index. I actually made a video about them. I think it's a fantastic way to gain exposure from the DeFi trend, since they're like you said, they're actually you can actually participate in the DeFi market by just holding this ERC20 token, and then you manage to get like a fraction of the top 10 DeFi platforms or DeFi tokens. So I think it's pretty good. Token Sets is also like, I really like that platform. I'm not too fond of all of the trading strategies on it. I mean, I like the idea, but they're not that great in terms of increasing your portfolio. I've tried those, and in my opinion, it's really difficult to find a trading strategy on Token Sets that is actually profitable. Very often they lose in value towards ETH, especially when there's like very fast price dumps and the price isn't correct enough, and the trading strategy actually switches your ETH to USDC, and then it goes up and then you lose in value. In my opinion, I just prefer to hodl. But yeah, good suggestion. You should also look, if you're into the DeFi Pulse Index, you can actually stake it. I believe it's on Index Coop, where you can actually add the DPI index and ETH onto a liquidity pool and earn some trading fees. So that's pretty interesting. I think DPI is a pretty good investment if you want to have this exposure to the DeFi space without having to buy each token separately. So let's quickly look at why now is probably the best time to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like I said, probably always expect volatility in the market. I believe even though Bitcoin has seen its all-time high just recently, I don't think the party's over. I think the party has just started. However, Bitcoin is probably going to be sitting on the side bench for a little while as the altcoin rally is happening. Yeah, Bitcoin trading sideways is pretty good, not only for Bitcoin, but for altcoin and ETH. So I'd like to share with you some pretty cool pieces of information I found. I think this is really interesting. Correlation doesn't always mean causation, but this is pretty fantastic. The Federal Reserve claims it has an infinite amount of cash back in March of 2020. That's when the ETH price skyrocketed or started its bull run, and no one actually believed at the time that was already the beginning of the bull run. At some point during the year, you look back and you realize, wow, we actually had a massive price increase. And yeah, a lot of people, they missed the bottom, but that's how things are. The current top might be the bottom for a very long time. So yeah, we're gonna see how this performs. But yeah, beginning of 2020 is going to be very exciting where 2021 leads us. just do not head or do not take his advice when investing in cryptocurrencies. I just put my entire child's college fund into Bitcoin, Ethereum. Are you sure we're going to break all-time high on the 6th of February? I also asked my cousin for a loan. I told him it was for my dog Sparkler, who is terminally ill. Love the vids, by the way. Yes, that's super irresponsible. Definitely do not take out any loans. I've got a friend of mine, not super close friend, but he took out a loan for an ICO. Definitely one of the worst ideas ever. I told him that. But yeah, it's super irresponsible. And a while ago, he actually he didn't actually lose his job, but he got put on part-time leave because of the current situation. That means he has to pay back a part of this loan that he took without having a job to pay it. So it's not the best situation. Like I told him off for doing that. And it's even worse if you've got a child's college fund and you put it into cryptocurrency. Definitely do not put more than you are willing to lose. I mean, I always tend to say if you're young, you should be a lot more riskier. If you've got a family, then you should like tone down the levels of riskiness. But if you're young, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm young and stupid, or I like to believe that. I'm not stupid as to go all into an unaudited project, but I'm still all in on crypto, even though many people think that's irresponsible. I accept the risk, and I think people that understand the possibilities and understand the risks, well, yeah. Party Barbados is now a good time to buy. I have been panic selling last 2 days from 5 ETH and now only 4.4. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. You got wrecked by the market, and that's an unfortunate thing. When the market dips, that's the worst time to sell. You should always try and sell on the way up. It's very difficult to give investment advice on when to buy and when to sell, but typically when you've got red days, those are the days you should be dollar cost averaging and not selling. And the thing is with the market is that it's going to pull on your emotions. It's going to make you actually do things that might not be that rational. For example, you might FOMO into a massive green candle, which turns out into a red candle a day afterwards. Yeah. What I suggest that you do is just keep what you've got, dollar cost average. Don't think too much about the price and leave it in there for at least a few months, and ignore the red days. Understand it's frustrating to have the value of your portfolio sink so drastically. If you're not familiar with the cryptocurrency space and you think everything's going to zero, that's basically the best time to delete your cryptocurrency portfolio app on your phone, or your cryptocurrency portfolio tracker on your phone, and go outside and enjoy life, and don't focus on crypto. Basically, that's the advice I can give. Just focus less on the short-term volatility. Look at the longer term. It's possible that you sold now and the price never goes back. It's possible it goes back. Just accept the loss as a learning experience. That's all I can say. Yeah, it's very difficult. That's the worst way to invest, buying high, selling low. I just leave the amount that you took out and just continue dollar cost averaging from now on, but don't try and buy back higher, because it's possibly it drops back down again. Maybe just wait if it drops that back down and you continue on accumulating what you lost. But yeah. Higher risk, high rewards. Let's have a quick look at some of the top DeFi protocols. Hope this is not going to be too boring, because these are some of the more popular ones, but I believe they've still got super high potential in 2021. I mean, most of them have a working product. They've got a working platform. People can save money with these. They can earn money, earn passive income. So the total value locked in DeFi has skyrocketed. It's tremendous amount of money that's locked up in DeFi. And now we're close to 25 billion. And I wouldn't be surprised at the end of 2021 that we'll be at 100 billion. So the first protocol, Aave. I mean, I'm being sponsored by Aave, so it's a bit unfair that I talk about them, but I'm a big fan of Aave. I've been a big fan of Aave even before they started sponsoring my videos, because it's a fantastic platform. You can just lock up your stable coins, your cryptocurrency. It's better for stable coins like USDC, DAI, USDT, and you can earn like 5 or 7% by lending your crypto on it. And you're actually earning this APY because other people can borrow some stable coins or cryptocurrency and then maybe reinvest that. A good example is if you've got like 10 ETH and you want to pay some bills, you can actually lock it up on Aave. You can remove some USDC, pay those bills, because you don't really want to sell the ETH that you've got now because you believe it might go up higher. And maybe at a later date when you've got a paycheck, you can actually put that USDC, pay back the debt or the borrowed amount that you took out of Aave, and you can retrieve the ETH that you lent. So that's one way that you can actually use the Aave platform. And the more people that realize that you can actually use Aave like your online bank account, earn 5%, 7% per year, that's fantastic. The only thing that I recommend if you use Aave is that you use maybe a a tool to find the lowest fees, and I also recommend only locking up higher amounts of USD because you're gonna have super high smart contract fees. I believe I had like $15 or $18 in smart contract fees to lock up my USDC, so I would have to at least leave my funds for 1 or 2 months for it to be profitable. But it also helps me keep the money on that platform. Compound, very similar to Aave, basically a lending and borrowing platform. Pretty cool. It's got a comp token. I think it's a fantastic way to also earn some interest. And if you want to actually diversify the platforms that you use to earn some interest, I recommend using Aave, Compound, and Yearn Finance. So then you're mitigating the platform risk. Uniswap, also super bullish on Uniswap. They've got the governance token, the Uni token, and I'm pretty sure that they're planning on something big this year with Uniswap version 3. Don't have much more information about that, but yeah, at the moment the Uni token is only a governance token, but it's possible that with Uniswap version 3 they're going to bring something out. And yeah, I'm always going to be a big fan of Uniswap, especially for the free money, the free stimulus check that they gave us back in September. So that's pretty awesome. Yearn Finance, very similar to the first two platforms, but they offer a lot more strategies for earning yield. It's like a yield automation protocol, allows you to lock up ETH, Curve, USDC, USDT, and different types of strategies to earn the highest possible yield. It's definitely a lot more risky than Aave, but you're going to earn a lot higher APY. So pretty awesome. And I also think that the token is pretty undervalued for the return that it offers the users. So only 35,000 Wi-Fi tokens. Pretty sure that the price of one Wi-Fi can go up to 40 or 50, even 100,000 US dollars at the end of 2021. You've got MakerDAO. This is actually the platform that allows people to lock up their ETH and other coins in order to create the debt token DAI, which is a stable coin. So this is very similar to the lending and borrowing mechanism of Aave and Compound. So in my opinion, those are pretty safe bets. They're like the blue chips of the DeFi space. Yeah. Let's quickly look at some of the comments. I think I saw from the corner of my eye some really smart comments. So let's read those. So Perti Barbados, but I still have more money than I have put in fiat money, so I have only lost free money. Thank you for advice. I understand your feeling. However, you have to realize that during a bull run, if you sell, you should exit unless you know what you're doing with the trading. It's very easy to actually be controlled by your emotions, that your emotions tell you what to do. I recommend that you put your ETH onto a hardware wallet because it makes it a lot harder for you to sell, or maybe put it on a mobile phone wallet and maybe only look at it from time to time. And if the price is going down the drain on a day, then definitely do not look at your portfolio. It's going to be very difficult, but especially as a new investor in the cryptocurrency space, it's really important that you don't be manipulated out of your crypto. So maybe heed the advice of the others that have just posted. Don't panic sell during the bull run. Pretty good advice. Panic selling is really bad idea, especially if there's a lot of FUD. If you see a lot of people telling you, oh, it's going to go to zero, that's possibly the best time to buy. So when there's blood in the streets, that's the best time to buy. I advise to buy monthly to get average price. I did the last 5 years. It works good. Really great advice, David Vagabond. Yeah, and I want to congratulate you on the fantastic profits and strong hands that you've had. It's definitely not been an easy journey. 5 years is a long time. So yeah, Wish you all the best in your investments in 2021. Gunter, I so far did not use any of the yield farming applications. I find it very scary. I understand you completely. It's super scary. However, if I can recommend one way to exit the cryptocurrency space when you want to sell, and that's one strategy that I'll be using. Though I want to stay in the DeFi space. I don't want to have my USD in fiat on my bank. I might remove a little bit, like to pay bills and stuff like that. But most of the fiat that I'm going to be selling, or most of the fiat that I'll be receiving through selling from crypto during the 2021-2022 bull run, I'm going to be keeping in DeFi. So I'm going to be keeping these funds in either USDC, DAI, maybe another stable coin, and I'm going to be putting them on different platforms like Aave. I'm going to be putting them on platforms like Yearn Finance, Compound to earn 5-7%. Just as an example, if you've got like 400 or 500,000 US dollars on one of these platforms or several of these platforms, earning 5 to 7% per year, well, yeah, then you can just quit your job and you've got more or less a passive income that you're receiving. And if you split these funds among different platforms, well, then you're mitigating the risk. It's definitely not without risk, but if you stay with the blue chips, your risk is pretty low, in my opinion. I've got a pretty high risk tolerance, so maybe I'm not the best measuring stick. Hi Bank Chamber, really happy to have you here on the channel. Haven't looked at YOP. IDO so was IDO sale price was 0.5. I'm 0.5. I'm gonna check it out later on. It's got pretty good suggestions. Strauss de Lange, what do you think of Celsius? It's obviously not DeFi. Yeah, I think Celsius is pretty good. But I'm not invested in it. I've not been following it too much. I think before we close the stream, I think this is a pretty fun Twitter account to look out for. I always really like to see what whales are investing in, and this is one famous whale that's on Twitter, and he's got his address as a name. I'll post this in the chat if you want to check that out. I think this is pretty cool. If you want to see what this whale is doing, you can actually follow him. You can also actually look at this address in Etherscan and see what kind of tokens he's accumulating. So I've got the Etherscan link open. And it's quite interesting. So he's got 373 million US dollars worth of tokens on his account, and his ETH is worth 790,000 US dollars. So a massive whale, especially in tokens. So let's have a look what kind of tokens he's actually accumulated over the last 2 years, probably. So you've got Compound ETH, CETH, earning interest on his ETH, probably not a lot, but if you've got like a massive amount of ETH, then yeah, 0.1% or 0.2% interest is still a lot of money. So here he's got 125 million US dollars worth of CETH locked up on Compound Finance, which is interesting. I mean, talk about risky project. He's got a lot of money in the cryptocurrency space, in the DeFi space. Then he's got a lot of Link, and not only just the Link normal, the A-Link, which is Aave tokenized Link, which is earning an interest on the Aave platform. So he's got what's that, $100 million worth of Aave Link tokens. Pretty crazy. Then he's got some interest bearing ETH, IBETH, which is also a type of interest-bearing ETH. I'm not really familiar with this one. I'm going to have to look this one up. IBETH token. So then he's also got some wrapped BTC. So as you can see, he's mostly on the DeFi space with all of his tokens with ETH, BTC, and so on. Rodrigo Favaro, hello from Brazil. Kierin, are you familiar with Bitcoin blockchain, the DeFi, RSK, Sovereign? What are your thoughts about it? I've barely touched the surface of those projects. At the moment, they're still in their infancy. I think I'll look at them as soon as they've grown a lot more. At the moment, most of the Bitcoin DeFi stuff I've been following is what's running on the Ethereum blockchain, because at the moment that's the only way, apart from like RemBTC, where you can earn some yield. Bank Chamber, in your opinion, will any L2s be successful, or will we be waiting for sharing? There's hardly any liquidity and people aren't flocking to L2s. In my opinion, I'm not super bullish on L2s. I think it's just like a type of a band-aid for the current situation of the Ethereum 1.0 blockchain. I don't think it's going to be that successful. I mean, if you look at XDAI's liquidity on many of the platforms like HoneySwap, it's just terrible, even though the fees like are super slow. I believe one of the problems is, first of all, to on-ramp ETH onto those layer 2 solutions. You're going to pay massive amounts of fees, and you're also going to have this low liquidity, so high slippage problems with layer 2 solutions. So I've looked at Loopring. I mean, it's a pretty cool platform, but you still have to pay a lot to put your ETH onto that platform. You're going to also have to pay a lot to remove your ETH from that platform. So yeah, in my opinion, it's probably not going to be that great of a investment, in my opinion here. I think EIP 1559, should that ever be implemented, I'm slowly giving up hope that the miners are going to accept EIP 59. But yeah, that's probably going to have the biggest effect on fees, until, of course, Ethereum 2.0 is launched. I think that we're probably going to have to wait until Ethereum 2.0 is launched. Yeah, that's about it. Or you might have a DeFi app that manages to like control all of your funds, like something like Zero or Zapper, where you can just put your ETH on there and it connects with Uniswap using a layer 2 solution. And then you can use many other DeFi apps, and you just have to on-ramp once and you can use a ton of different DeFi solutions. I think that's the only way that layer 2 will work, if there's a way that all of these DeFi apps are interconnected with each other. Yeah. So at the moment, not too hyped about layer 2. So last but not least, let's talk about this pretty out of this world ETH prediction. And I think this is really interesting. And it's taking some parallels from 2017, 2018, using a log scale and some curves, some fancy curves, and using the stock to flow model for Bitcoin, and using the same approach for 2017 growth on the 2021. That would put the ETH price at like super crazy levels, at $19,788 at the end of or at the mid of 2022. That would be pretty fantastic. And this doesn't stop, it just continues growing. And I don't think this is actually unrealistic, especially with the amount of ETH that is being locked up on Ethereum 2.0. So June, July 2021, $7,000 price prediction. October, November 2021, $8,400, and December, January 2022, $28,000 max peak. And that would be pretty much in line with my ETH price prediction, not the end of this year, but more likely next year, based on the amount of ETH that has been knocked up. And if we look at the stock to flow model, which is pretty interesting for BTC, that would place BTC at around $107,000 at the end of 2021, or actually higher. June, July $80,000 US. October, November 2021, 140,000. So actually a lot higher. Bank Chamber, people who say dollar cost average, but dollar cost average isn't possible on ETH unless buying large quantities. Got to stay on exchanges for the most part. I mean, I think it really depends how you do your dollar cost averaging. If you're doing like a monthly wire transfer to a certain exchange, and then after every wire transfer you can send that ETH to a hardware wallet. So that would be one way that I would do a dollar cost average. But yeah, it's always very, very difficult. When do you stop dollar cost averaging? Do you ever stop dollar cost averaging? What kind of exit strategy do you have? Do you have an exit strategy? That's also really important. Going to a lot of people say ETH looks like BTC 4 years ago. Yeah, I've also got the same impression. I mean, of course, ETH has a much higher supply in terms of coins than BTC. But yeah, it does look really, really interesting to follow the price chart. So yeah, that was it for this live stream. I'm going to be closing up shortly. Definitely let me know if you've got any other burning questions, and hope you enjoyed the new quality of the stream. I've upgraded some components to get a lot better internet connection, as well as the camera feed should be also a lot better. So hopefully you enjoyed the stream. I'll be doing a lot more streams. So if you're not subscribed, I'm pretty sure most people who are watching are subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, definitely make sure to subscribe, as you don't want to miss out on a lot of the videos that I'll be posting. And as a quick piece of information, I'll probably be quitting my job soon to do this full time. And yeah, really appreciative of all the comments, feedback, support I've been getting from you guys. Ah, yes, true. Non-listed tokens really difficult to dollar cost average. That's correct, yeah. But yeah, I mean, those, to be honest, I just try and buy those when they're low. Not always easy, but yeah. Thanks a lot, Rodrigo. Oh, great. What time is it? But you said you're in Canada, right? What time is it back in Canada? I believe it should be around 12 p.m. No, 12 in the afternoon or 1 in the afternoon. Can you guys still party, or is it like party at home? Cause here everything's closed. There's nothing to do outside of streaming crypto stuff, and then maybe afterwards watching a series or a movie. Yeah, I would probably crack open the beer, relax, and enjoy the rest of the evening. It's around 9 p.m. here in Basel, Switzerland. Man, that sucks really bad. Kicked from 2 exchanges for being a US customer. It's really difficult being a US or Canadian citizen with the current state of the crypto regulations. I really feel for you. I realize I'm in a privileged position here in Switzerland, the land the land of the free in terms of cryptocurrency regulations. I mean, I don't even want to start talking about it, because it probably make a lot of people envious with the type of taxation we have. I mean, if you're not already familiar with the type of taxation, we don't really pay any wealth taxes below $70,000, so I don't really have any short-term capital gains taxes. I can buy ETH, sell ETH tomorrow with some gains, and won't have to pay any taxes on those if it's below 70,000 Swiss francs. Bitteschön, David. Hi, host beef, 9 in the afternoon. You're welcome, Sean Burke. Have a great evening. Bye-bye, Devi. Bye, Bank Chamber. Bye, Gunter. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.